and I really appreciate the opportunity to be the host for today's webinar. And my humble organizer just said, he's saying he's putting me into places that I'm not up to yet. Actually, this weekly webinar we've been having, I have seen that it's more or less like experience sharing, because more of what we share is theoretical, and most of the things we learn is that of those that are experienced by each other. So having to rotate members and specialties and specialists in different areas to come every week and give us this experience is something that needs to be recommended. Once again, my name is Adam Husein, and I'm also a teacher here. And this presentation is about classroom management for Thai classrooms. So classroom management techniques for Thai classrooms. All right. I want to start by acknowledging or appreciating some people who have helped me when I came to this country. For example, the very first time I talked to our senior team, this is the exact topic that I brought to him, and he really helped me with a lot of techniques that I'm going to share today. And also, I want to also acknowledge my brother, who is Teacher Enoch, Nana Ike. When I came to this country, he really helped me a lot with a lot of classroom techniques and those experiences that I picked from other friends and colleagues alike. So I'm just going to share my experiences, and then we can know where it goes. So with that said, let's kickstart. So this is going to be like, I'm going to read the slide one by one, and then we explain further. So what we are going to cover today is understanding Thai classroom, building the right environment, practical management techniques, challenges for African teachers, and takeaways plus question and answers, as the organizer rightly said we are going to do at the end. So when we talk about understanding Thai classroom culture, as we know, culture is a way of life, right? So what every foreign teacher must know before walking in, to all of us, we once had our first time, and we were once prepared. Some went well, some never went well, but it's all building up on experiences. All right, so we are talking in the context of Thai culture. So we say the Thai culture values that shape every classroom. So before you even get into the Thai classroom, let's say this is my first time of coming to this country. No matter how many years you have taught back home, it's a different culture altogether to the one we have here. So I'm just going to go straight forward. So the desire to avoid imposing or causing discomfort. Students rarely challenge teachers openly. So the very fact that the student is not going to challenge you, you should understand that if there is no student challenging you in any aspect of your teaching, that doesn't mean the students might not be worried or not having a genuine problem. The second thing is repetition and dignity are highly valued. Public embarrassment is deeply harmful. So publicly embarrassing. As I said, these points we are explaining is basically shared experiences, which all of us here have experienced before. Mostly, this is just a reminder for us or a recap so that we refresh our memories with it. So these cultures are what we face day in, day out in our classrooms. I also know that hierarchy and respect teachers hold high status, like parents. Authority must be exercised gently. The students see you as see you like their parents, or let's say you are in the same level with a parent in terms of authority. So you should own it. You should own your classroom, right? So we are also going to look at the Thai values, fun enjoyment. Lessons are mostly effective when they feel enjoyable. If your classroom is boring, obviously the students are not going to like you and your work is going to be tough. We also are going to talk about students may smile and say yes, even when they don't understand. It is their culture to put on a smile all the time. So don't mistake that smile for cooperation or understanding. Also, the concept of patience is a virtue. Now, this is a very interesting fact. Excuse me, I'm very dry. Sorry. So patience is a virtue. On my desk personally, in my office, I have placed a frame. I made a picture of a red car and then a tree, and then I wrote on it, patience is a virtue. So if my colleague teachers in the office or my students comes around and then they see this on my table, what message does it send to them? They see that I am tapping from the energy of the frame, which is patience a virtue, to remind myself or anybody that comes around my deck should know that this is a principle I uphold. And it's very, very interesting. And you will be amazed of what this kind of phrases and the way you arrange yourself carry in both the classroom and in the school environment. So rushing or showing frustration is seen as poor character in Thai culture. So you don't just show your frustration, you should keep it. And then let's say when you come home, you want to cry, you can cry. But when you are there, you're in the classroom environment or in the school environment, you should portray strength. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about the difference between Ghana and Thailand. So what's the difference in the classroom in Ghana and the classroom in Thailand? I am fortunate to have a little bit of experience of teaching in the classroom culture in Ghana before I came here. So I'm able to weigh and to appreciate the two cultures altogether. So Ghanaian classroom norms and then Thai classroom norms. So direct verbal discipline is common and accepted. In Ghana, you can just talk to the child anyhow. For example, you just say something and the child will feel disappointed, and that's a way of punishment. It's mostly normal in our communities, but in Thailand here, that is frowned upon. So indirect or private correction is preferred. You need to have a good relationship with your students so that you can have private conversation in case there is a problem. You don't need to communicate it in the classroom just like that for embarrassment in front of their fellow students. So students expect to answer loudly. That is in Ghana. Students are expected to answer very loud, right? So the teacher has a question and the students say it loud, speak aloud, I cannot hear you. It's normal. And you see that sometimes because of roots learning, you pass by a school and you see that you'll be memorizing stuff, making noise, like shouting just for it to stay. That is different community here. Here it's not like that. Here it's quiet, shy, and then culturally normal. You don't need to make noise or something like that. So these are the things we should know, the difference between what we have in Ghana or in our local communities and what we have here. Strict silence is equal to respect. In our community, a teacher is supposed to speak and the child is supposed to keep quiet. You don't talk when the teacher is talking. It's literally, it's like you don't have to express your views, even if they are lying to you. I'm talking and you're talking, that kind of culture. But here, it's not like that. So students, we whisper to avoid answering. She asks her a question and she's saying it in her lips, or he's saying it in her lips. What do you do? Just understand that is the way things are. Going forward in the slides, we're going to see ways to combat these kind of problems. All right. So competition is opening in Ghana. And then, let's say in our communities, and here group harmony is encouraged. Students are allowed to be in groups, and then they do get their scores in groups. Unlike our communities where students are competing against each other like a race. Actually, personally, I have an experience before where I was surprised that that school that is in Thailand here, there was a competition. And I realized that the culture in there was like more of Chinese because there was a lot of Chinese students. And Chinese students are also known to enjoy competition, unlike the Thai ones. So even though it was in Thailand, but the competition was very high, which was very helping. But in a typical Thai context, you don't see more of competition, but you rather see more of group and cooperation. All right. So knowing all this is going to help you to navigate through your work smoothly. All right. So as I said earlier on, route learning is highly valued in our communities, and then teacher-student relationship are warm and personal. You should be relating with your students. You should have a cordial relationship and a good rapport with them. We are going to talk about rapport if time permits. Okay, so now we're going to look at understanding your Thai learners. Those students you are teaching, do you really know them? If you do, to what extent? And to what extent is normal, right? So they are shy, but they are very eager. They love to explore. Most Thai students wants to participate, but they fear making mistakes. Obviously, all of us here knows that Thai people in general, they hate to make mistakes, which sometimes is making them not to try at all in certain contexts. So this is also something you should understand in your students in the classroom. They also love visual collaborative, right? They love to collaborate visually. You just like home when you can just make almost the whole semester, the whole year group, you just make lecture method without doing anything or any activity to increase the classroom. This place in Thailand here, they learn better through visuals and then group, as we said earlier on. So even though my slide here is my slide is mostly not visual. I have the visual one, but I was trying to connect it, but I couldn't. So it's on my PC. Please, I want to see. I think I'm just talking throughout. I want to see something. Please, is everyone here? Hello.
Yeah, we are here. We are here.
All right, all right. That's good. That's good. That's good. So I'll just pause, and if along my presentation, it doesn't really matter unless I finish my time. Everyone can interrupt the presentation so that we are here to share experiences, as I said in the beginning. So this understanding the Thai students is really going to help you navigate through your classroom. So we talk about this.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, the one that said hello, we can hear you. I
Hey,
don't know if
here.
you want.
You couldn't hear. I couldn't
Yeah,
hear. Actually.
Mr.
yeah,
Husein,
me
your
too.
mic is still off. Yeah. I
We don't
suggest you
hear.
go to your laptop's microphone and forget this one. Yeah, still off.
Yes, it is still off.
Mr. Adams, we can only see the mouse pointer, but we cannot hear
We
the.
cannot see the slides too. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we can.
What about the slide, please?
Yes, we
yeah,
can see.
All right. So that's all right. Oh, so my question earlier on
Yeah,
before,
and
I think,
please, sir, I don't know, as if you are going a little bit faster. Probably,
all
I
right.
don't know whether because of the time or whatever, but
Probably so, but noted. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I was asking a question that how many of us here face that situation where our students use mobile phones in the class? I just want to see by hand, and then we're going to talk about it at the open session. So please, if you're here, let me just see by hand. I'm trying to make the class or the webinar. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I've got
yeah, we can
Philip
hear you.
and then ODK, and okay, that's all right. So. All right, so mobile phones is a problem that we face in our classrooms. And as I said earlier on, it depends on the session or the environment. So low tolerance for boredomness. You don't need to show how boredom you are. Without variety, passive disengagement happens quickly. That's a fact. If you are in the classroom and you don't show variety in your classroom, you are a one-way person. You always use the same procedure to deliver your lessons all the time. You are going to end up with boredomness, both on the part of the student and you yourself. So to understand your Thai learners very well, you should also have a strong in-group loyalty. Class friendship heavily influence participation. All right. So you need to understand how the friendship patterns goes in your classroom and then use it to your advantage. You should maneuver through this. Okay. Now, the second part of the slide is building the right classroom environment. This is very necessary. Everything that is structured, routine, and relationship that makes management effective. So establishing the effective routines and rules. Create the rules with the students. involve the students in the classroom norms. They own it. They feel like they are those who help craft it. Therefore, if they go against the rule, it is just straightforward for the punishment, and understanding is being established. Display rules visually. This, I think, it's a norm for every teacher. Like, let's say teaching school 101, you have to display the classroom norms clearly. In this context, you should let it be like English or Thai. These are some of the things that will help the students understand. If they do something, you can just point to the rules to them. You see, this is this that you're doing. There is a punishment for it, and that is serve as a deterrent for them. You should begin every lesson with a ritual: warm greetings, quick recap, questions, or short activity signals. So if you don't have a ritual, you just you just come to the class and start teaching. That is another contributor of boredomness in the class. But if you have a ritual, for example, for the first 5 minutes, personally, as I said, we're going to share experiences. Mostly, it depends. If you're teaching in the high school or middle school, let's say from M1 to M6, the approach is going to be different from the little kids. For example, per my experience, when I used to teach the little kids, I play, we dance, we make a lot of, we also reflect on the previous lessons. The class is typically fun, play music, play their favorite songs, let the adrenaline goes up, and then we start the class. At least 5 minutes tops, and it's okay. And if you're not able to finish the aspect of the fun, we're going to continue from there in the next class. And in the terms of, let's say, M4 to M6, let's say you're teaching students who are like more than 12 years old. Some of them are even up to 18 years old, for example. If you are teaching the M6 students and then you just go to the classroom and you decide to just teach, in fact, it's going to be so bad for you. Per my experience, it was very bad until I changed the process I was going with them. So, for example, before the beginning of the webinar, immediately the introduction of the webinar, when I was appreciating Mr. Steve, one of the things the techniques he gave me was he asked me that the Thai teachers in the school, do the students bow down to them to greet them, or they just greet them? And personally, to me, how do they greet me? And I was like, okay, I didn't even thought of that. They bow down to greet the teachers. They just go down, and it was like, okay, that is a show of authority, and that is going to help you. That's going to help you long way in your classroom. If they respect you, if they go down to you, it's a form of respect. Do you have that with them? Do you have that relationship with them? I was like, no, I don't have it with them. And how do I get it? I'm not looking for it for them to bow to me. In fact, I'm not in agreement with that. But then I want to have that level of authority on my students, in infusing it with the fun, so that I can maneuver and teach my lessons peacefully without any confusion. Now, as I said, when I go to in my experience, when I go to the lower classes, I am a different person. When I go to the upper classes, I am also a different person. For example, my M6 normally, because they are grown-ups, sometimes some of them even see that they can maybe beat you up like that. So I just ask myself, what do these guys like the most? They like music, okay. And in my experience as a math teacher, I made it upon myself to give them more work and less fun, because I cannot have fun with them. I'm very careful with them. They are grown-ups. The fun level is limited. So what I do is, I was fortunate to have a projector in my classroom. So I project a music. Let's say I just open the Billboard 100. Billboard is very popular, and most all the songs in a typical EP class, the students can sing those songs. So they were doing their work, and then the smooth music is playing in the background. And this one, I happen to have a co-teacher in my classroom. So when I start this one the first day, she was very amazed and she was very happy. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. I was like, I'm very glad the students love that. And so it gave us a level of intimacy, yeah, like the right intimacy, not the wrong one. And it's helped me along the line up to today. So this is one technique that I used with the the technique that I use with the older ones. And with the long ones, I'm a little bit strict with them, because you cannot easily talk them out of bad situations. So you have to show authority. So these are some of the techniques I establish in the routines and the rules. So going forward in our slide, consistent entry and exit policies. So if your classroom don't have exit and entry, there's always a problem. The students will sit, all of them will be in the class. I'm taking this in the concept of different school settings. Each schools have their own settings, right? They're not the same. So in a situation where you are not a home run teacher or homeroom teacher, I just break my fast. I'm so sorry. My mouth is very dry. The situation where you are not a home run teacher, you'll see that maybe you have M2 today, this time, the next lesson you're going to M3, the next lesson you're going to M6, right? So teachers go out and you enter like that. Then it will get to a time, I have experienced that before, when it's time for me to enter the class, half of the class will be out. Obviously, they are not interested in your lesson. And why is that so? So when you realize this problem, how do you solve it? So I brought this concept of exit procedures. So I was like, you're going to leave my class until the first 15 minutes. So if you want to urinate or something, make sure that you go out with the last teacher who is going out. So when the teacher goes out, then when I'm in the class, I expect you to be back up until first 5 minutes of my entrance. So beyond the first 5 minutes of my entrance, when you come in, there's a punishment for you. That's one way I go by it. And then if you're already in the classroom and you want to go out, you have to wait for first 15 minutes. At least by the first 15 minutes, most students won't even love to go out anymore, because at that point you have already stole their attention, and then you've taught what you want to teach already. Excuse me. All right, I'm told to slow down. Yeah, this is also one way that I really did, and it helped me a little bit. I don't always use it, going fast in the classroom to catch up with the students or some kind of reasons though. All right, I'm very sorry for that. Please, again, if there is anything or the way I'm speaking, there is any, we are all colleagues here, we are all brothers. Please don't hesitate to just write it so that I can read it and I'll correct it. All right. Oh, okay, it's here. Slow down. All right, thank you very much. All right, so use consistent consequences, fair, calm, and private. Never angry, never be angry in public, right? So we're going to talk about this in the subsequent slides. So let me go forward. So the power of rapport, the Thai teacher's secret weapon. As I said earlier on, in all our schools, you realize that the Thai teachers is like they have a upper hand on the students in terms of discipline and even classroom delivery. So what are they doing differently than us? We realize we all share this sentiment. Which sort of punishment do you give out to students who break the rules? All right. So thank you for this question. We're going to talk more of that in a minute. Okay. So you have to learn their names. It's very important. Let's say most of the schools right now are on break, right? And then next semester or next term, students are going to come back and we are going to have fresh students. For example, in the secondary school, we're going to have fresh M1 students and fresh M4 students. So this is an opportunity for you to set a pace for this year group that are coming in. And when you are able to provide this foundation with them, since they are fresh, is going to go a long way to help you in your classroom, which is the first one. We say you have to learn their names. You don't stay with the kids for more than 1 month. For me, I think 2 weeks, and you don't know their names, no matter their number. It is part of your job, right? So you need to take it up upon yourself and memorize them. It is very necessary. You see, Thai names can be long. So most students have nicknames, which is the Chilean. So you have to use them. For example, the nuns, whatever names they have, some of them are funny. And you should use that funny aspect of that name to make it stick. Personally, for me, the first time I'll meet a new class, I'll ask them their nicknames. Fine. I'm not interested in their names. And yes, they all have numbers. So I first take the number into memory and the nicknames follow suit easily. So that's how I do it. And if I don't remember your name, I'll just try and do some gestures. I think I'm not getting it. Okay. Can you tell me the first letter of your nickname? And then obviously when they say it, I'm tantamount to remember. And if I don't remember, I'll tell them next time I don't remember their name, I'm going to give them a score or something. And then we all laugh about it. At the end, they'll tell me the name and move forward. So we have to also greet students at the door. Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you today? Right. So as they enter, they set warm tone for the lesson. About the greeting, the last time I was having a little problem with that, so I just used ChatGPT, the voice mode, and I was having a conversation with it, and I explained my problems, and I told it I wanted to learn any Thai jargon, student-related Thai jargon, and then it's like, okay, whenever you enter the class, you can stay maybe Sawadi Kap, and then Num Num, Sasao. It's like boys, and girls. As at that time, I never knew those words. I just know Puyin, Puchai, that's all. So when I went to the class, my co-teacher was around and I was like, Sorry, Kab, Num Num, is it Leo or Gap Sao? And then come on, everybody was happy. Oh, teacher. They were very happy to be called Sasao. It's like, and then I asked for explanation. It was just like boys, and girls. So it's like a jargon. And it's really helped my classroom, and my co-teacher was happy. And that made me really happy too. I'm there to play. We are all there to place them. We are just all going by the book so that we get our ends meet. So we leave our Ghanaian principle, lower it down a little bit, and try to learn their ways and their culture so that we can adapt with them. And the concept of Darwinism, the ability for you to be able to adapt to new environments. And those people who are able to adapt to new environments are those who always succeed. All right. So you have to show genuine interest. You have to ask the students about their favorite food and yours too, about their culture. So they love sharing, right? And you realize that in Thailand here, every province have their unique way of life and festivals and stuff. Even though they have the general ones like the Songkrans that we all see like in general, but by my experience, I realized that each culture or each province have their unique stuff. So you need to take your time and learn all those things because those are what your students engage themselves outside school. So if you are able to relate with them through those things, it's really going to resonate about your cordial relationship with your students. So for example, in my province, every 20th, right, or 19th, I don't know, it's a 10-day festival every February, every year, you see. So my first time I was asking them about this stuff and they were telling me, wow, teacher, just wait. On February, there's going to be a very big festival. And this year's own, the Prime Minister was even here. So it's very important to them. And in fact, that the night the Prime Minister was there, I walk out of the market and then I met one of my students. He was very happy. Teacher, today I took a picture with the Prime Minister. And I was like, wow, that's great. And I was like, okay, can you send it to me? He sent it and I applauded him, So these festivals and these things really means a lot to them. And when you make it very important to you too, it's going to resonate. And all those are part of the adaptation strategy. So you also have to use humor. You have to use your humor carefully. So your light deprecating humor works well. Never mock students. This is very important. I have that experience before. There's a point I was mocking a student. I lost myself. So I was like, man, this kid was crying and I felt so bad. I have to rewire everything and then get it right later. But I felt bad because he was really hurt. They have very high emotions and they are so soft. So you have to go along. Or yes, sometimes you might even you feel it's normal, but it's not normal to them. So you have to follow the discipline. So personal details should also be remembered. You have to remember personal details. Like the students' hobby, their family names and stuff. You have to make it a priority to know all those things. That is when they will feel they will feel you. Yeah, you can vibe more if you do that. If you're fortunate, some people are fortunate, they even get dinner invites with parents, right? They get outing with parents, a lot of goodies, freebies from parents. And I know there is a lot of us who have similar experiences. So it is something we should keep it up doing to encourage our classroom and school environment. All right. Now, the third part of today's topic is practical management techniques. So what are the techniques that works for people and those that don't work? Those that we should leave behind in our local home in Ghana, and those that we should continue doing. So specific tools for challenges you face every day. Those challenges we face every day, how do we maneuver through them? Okay, I think it's not back. All right. So first one is use think per share. Depending on your lesson, I know some of us are here to teach English in the lower level, some of us teach English in the upper level, business, mathematics, science, specific biophysics, biologies, and stuff. Therefore, each class should, or each subject you're teaching to have its own strategies apart from the general ones you have, and you should be able to read your environment. Some techniques cannot be applied in certain places, so you should be able to know when to use what, and that can only be possible if you understand your environment. You can't be blind at your environment. You should study the terrain very careful, study your office, study the politics in the office. You should just be an observer. You don't open your mouth, you don't talk, right? The way your students relate with the Thai teachers, observe it very carefully, and then take those aspects of it that you can apply to make your classroom and your school environment life easy for you. Because as long as they are very emotional, we are also emotional too. So if you don't take care of this kind of thing, it's going to cause your depression and mental health, which a lot of us has experienced throughout when we came to this country. And glory be to God, we are always able to heal, and we continue healing until we become good people. All right, more than we are. As a mayor preachy. What's he saying? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. He's gonna answer me back. Yeah, I said me Makasa said the mayor preachy. And yes, all right. So these are some of the things you should manage in the participation to break the silence. All right. So
It's like
cold
someone
calling. Someone have a question, right?
the person talk about someone want to share his or her experience about classroom management and something like that.
Yeah, that is why I was in a hurry to finish, and then I had a notice that I'm going fast, so I have to go slow. But then, organizer, what time am I supposed to end so that I'll just wrap it up?
Oh,
Hello, Holmes.
you can
What
end,
is my time?
by 8 since we started around 7:10. You can end by 8 where we do the 10 minutes.
So that after
Oh.
8 we do the general one, right?
Maybe
Hello.
what I think is maybe as you're explaining, you catch someone attention about a particular
Question, right?
slide
Okay.
so the person want to ask a question based on what we have presented or
All
on
right.
that slide. How want to share experience. That's what I mean. So it
All right.
should be
All right.
a discussion method like that.
All
If
right.
you
So,
explain, you have a
that's
question.
true.
I also think that probably we can have a second part of the webinar so that we will get the real understanding of what you're teaching us, because the practical experience is very key for us. So I believe that if if you're not able to complete and then we schedule for another time, that could be possible.
All right.
Okay, so the experiences and others will help us. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you very much. So as Mr. Odike, my mentor just said, I'm just going to take the questions that we have here. Mr. Philip Ala was saying that, which sort of punishment do you mete out to students who break rules? Okay, so this one is also tantamount to environment and then the kind of school management you are. You know, some schools have cameras in the classroom, some schools do not have, some schools the students are at the bees, right? In some schools, for example, they are in the village. So depending on the classroom setting that you find yourself in, you should know how to deliver your punishment very, very careful, because when you apply, for example, in the village, it's okay for you to invite some Thai teachers to help you, and most of the classrooms have co-teachers. Therefore, if you want to save your skin, it's best. That is, even if it's extreme. I rarely punish a student. I always advise and advise and advise. And then at the end of the lesson, at the end of the semester, I will use it against your score, and I'll make you understand that if you keep repeating what you're doing, I cannot do anything than to keep advising you, right? And I'll keep advising you until the last minute, then I'll mafia you. So if I mafia you, I have receipts. There is no way you can blame me for that. And that's a very good thing that is helping me these days. But before, actually, I just make the students go out and sit in front of start in front of the classroom first, in front of the board. Just sit down there idle. The student might see it to be normal, but you are punishing them. And most of these cases, when other Thai teachers comes to see these ones, they will ask, what did he do? And you get a chance to explain, and then they can carry out the punishment themselves. That is always my idea. I will shift that punishment executing to the right people. It's either I complain or I make a situation where I make sure they see what is happening, and then they'll take it over. In some schools, you couldn't mafia a student through course. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the environment, right? Through score, it depends on the environment. Most typically high school environments, you could do that because you are in control of all the scores. So their midterm and their final exams, that I cannot touch. But the one I give them in the classroom, let's say it's 50-50, right? It depends on the division. So if their midterm exams is over 30, or let's say over 20, and their final exams is over 30, that's 50, and the classroom scores is 50, that boils down on me, right? So the only thing you will do for me to mafia your score is if you are distracting the class. Other than that, anything outside the class doesn't affect your score. So I'll just give you a normal corporal punishment. But if it's inside the class, I'll make you understand. So the first time I did that to them, you know that, okay, this teacher is serious. So I use that as a deterrent, and I don't get that problems anymore. So if anyone have a different idea on how they punish their students in this country, they should let us know, because it's not the same as in Ghana. In Ghana, you can just take the kid and what they put money through. Come on. So at this point, I also want to explain a little bit. This gamifying, this gamifying. So the Kahoot quizzes, Quizlets. These are ways you make your classroom very, very visual, right? So when you use the Kahoot, it's like there's a point where we're going to talk about the phones, right? So mobile phones. There is no way you can take that phones out of their hand. That is if it's high school. But in the context of primary school, I understand most students do not have access to phone. Even if they do, it's easy to control the phones. But in the secondary school, the phone is their first friend, right? So when you have the habit of letting them putting their phone aside, like strictly, they are going to hate you for that, and it's going to cost you a lot. So what is the solution here? You have to use it to your advantage. And how do you do that? That is where this kind of programs comes in, these Kahoot programs. And there are lots of them. I'd see this one at a point they need you to pay. So there are alternatives that works very well. So if we ever have the chance to come up again, I will talk more about that, because this one is not like a pre-designed game or a pre-designed website that you go and take teaching content, right? This one is like a custom. You just feed it your own classroom materials, and then it creates the questions out of it. And the students are all having their phones, so you just give them the QR code or the code for it. They know it already. They love it, and then they will log in while they are answering the questions. It is coming live on the screen. So you see, indirectly, they are using the phone, but they're using it to learn. And also in the context of teaching mathematics, the notebook or the whiteboard on the phone, mostly I can give out a question on the board, and then I'll tell everyone to use their iPad or tablet and solve the questions. So while they are solving, I'll just be going around and making sure they are doing it on the iPad. And those who don't have, for my class, everyone have exercise book or a notebook just for me with my name on it and then their name too. So they use that for simple mathematics questions and calculations, and I score it at the end of the semester. And if it's on the iPad too, you make a screenshot of all that you did and I score it for you too. So these are the ways I use technology, or I make sure that the funds are put into good use. Okay, so the point system make participation feel like a game. So that's also, I wouldn't go much into that since the time is of the essence. All right, so I think I have 9 minutes to go. So making a group to work in the making group work in the Thai classroom. So how we say that one major way of having student participation and engagement is the group. This works for all year groups from P1 up to M6, right? So in a group, you need to assign a leader, a recorder, a timekeeper, and have clear rules for each one and prevent social loafing. So it's not the way that your group no go and say we are no moving something outside. And there's this experience I love to share. Particularly with my M6, because personally they were very difficult for me to teach in the beginning. So I realized that it is more of a teaching and more of activities for them, and they doing the teaching themselves. So I grouped them into groups, and the topic was quite difficult, even for me to teach. So I just left it for them. They are Asian kids; they are good in maths already. So and they were very happy to do that. And it was like I make a flyer, right, like a sticker about the day of the presentation, and each group leader, I put them on the stickers and share it among our group and the schools platform that we are in. So it's like, as a politician for my manifesto, it is serious for them. And I made them understand that this course I'm going to use in this group participation, I'm not going to do anything with it. Me, if I've been coming to be free, so and one I made it quiet end of semester. So it was very, very nice, and we really delivered it, and everybody was happy. And it was like 5 topics for that semester, and we were able to finish midway. So I think it's all about how you started with. Okay, I think there are some questions here. In some schools, you couldn't okay. In high school, you can take the phones before the class and get it back after the class. That's good. And it must be in classroom rule, so they don't understand that. Okay, they don't hate you. That's really true. I think it's all about how you started with. It's like relationship between you and your girlfriend. It's all about how you started with, for sure. That is what I mean when I said you should observe your environment, and then you should know where you are and how things go at that place, so that you can apply what you have. And yes, there is a point where I give a phone free window. So I'm going to tell you, like, for the first 30 minutes, no phones. After that, you can take your phones, right? Or you just take the phone like this, right? And then you put it upside down like this, because I love them to use it all the time. So that we combine technology with our classrooms, not only about the projector and then being on the board. There's a lot I am able to accomplish in using the iPads. So, and all the contributions he gave is really, really vivid. At a point in time, I was doing that, especially for my M1 students. They are young, they are naive, and they are easy for me to put my authority on them. So I could take all their phones, even if they frown, it's no big deal for me. Okay, all right. So that is how it is. And thanks very much for the addition to that. All right. So we're also looking at I think we should just move. It's almost time. I'll just wrap it up. So handling this disruption in the Thai way. So the golden rule is never embrace a student publicly. It destroys the relationship and creates resentment. That one is a fact. You don't do it public. That means you have to call them. Oh my days. That means you have to call them. So use proximity. Walk towards of the student. So if the student is misbehaving, you just get close to them. Empathy, you just calm situations down. Your presence alone helps to change whatever the student is doing. So private conversation. So you should also have private conversation. You should have Okay, some international schools, students give phones to administration and get it back during lunch and break. Also give it. Okay, that's great because phone is big distraction for this case. They use it only to play games. Yes, that is why it's very important. You need to involve yourself in the uses of the phone. I'm not saying you should look inside the student's phone, but you should make sure that you give them an activity that calls for them to use the phone. Now, in that situation, you will definitely see the kind of activity they are doing on the phone, and that is going to make everybody busy. And personally, I think that one has helped me to get their retention much easier. If I'm doing the normal lecture method and I've seen that they are off the classroom, what I'll do is I always have a backup class. So the ones that's going to involve them to use their gadgets, and the one that I will just go the normal one. So if the normal one is not helping me, they are sleepy, some are playing game, I can really tell they are playing game, right? Or if the phones are with me, the day that we have 30 minutes phone free, I take the phone in front of the class. So after the 30 minutes, they take it back. But if we are going to use the phone in the future during the class, I leave it with them. And even with that, they still do something else. But then you cannot have it all. Sometimes you just do your best and hope that things get better. All right. Okay. So you have to also build an exit RAM. I think I should also move forward. I'll just talk about the phones already. So these are the key points I already prepared. You should allow, some of them want to use it for translation. Now you're teaching something like science, right? You're teaching velocity. And you say that a car moves 50 kilometers down the hill. He later did blah, blah, blah. You're teaching applied mathematics or applied physics or business, you see, or economics in the high school, and not all of them understand English to the best of the level, especially if you use it in questions like this. If the understanding of the question is part of the answering. So if the English is not polished, that means they are tantamount to get that question wrong. And you cannot go around translating for everyone. So some of the class, you should have a laissez-faire. You should have an open environment so that this kind of exams are available for them to translate and understand, because these questions repeat themselves. You should adapt the strategy of repetition using those that involve the phone and those that does not involve the phone, like mix things up and then figure out the ones that work for you. All right. So with the classroom rules, we also kept. You can have a phone rules. Make sure it's different. That way, it's explicit. This is phone rules. This is classroom rules. So whenever you are going to use phone, they should have a typical instructions, because the phone is part of it. I'm new to using of this. I've seen somebody's hand raised, but no need to raise your hand. You just come in and speak. All right.
No,
So
normally when we raise a hand, it means you have to allow us to ask the question, or if you want to continue.
I get
So-
it, but I'm not used to presenting, so I'm so sorry about that. That's why I said I didn't even realize it. I just saw it blinking. So
So do you want us to ask questions, or you want to be done? Then we ask questions.
I'm done. It's the slide I have too plenty. I cannot finish it, so I'm done. Let's just
So can I ask a question then?
Yep.
So my question is, for me personally, I know we
Okay.
live in the technological age that students need to have phones. So I
Okay.
get that. But I have this strong rule, no telephones in the classroom, because if it's about, like, some people will say, oh, you are depriving them of learning about technology. But I don't
Sure.
believe that, because when they go home, they have the phone, so they can use it and learn whatever they want to learn. Because you see,
Sure.
when they have the phones in the classroom, there's no way you can check what they are doing. They have all these AIs they
course.
can use to even find the answers to the questions. So that's why
Yeah, sure.
I don't really want them to have the phone in the classroom when I'm teaching, or even
Okay.
during the exams. But I get you, like, for example, I teach science. So
Mhm.
if the student doesn't understand the question, it means they might get it wrong. So this is what I do. Normally, when I give the question, I have the Google Translator. I put the question in the Google Translator in the classrooms, then I open it big like that. Everybody can see it. So you have the English
All
here,
right.
you have the Pastor Thai, and then you can answer the question. So you don't need the phone. for that.
Yes,
Because
that's
once
a
you
really
have
good
the
strategy.
yes, because once you have the phone, they might sometimes they'll even get the answers from their friends in Messenger or Line.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah,
Sure.
I know they are trying to say we should try and incorporate phone using in the classroom, but I'm really
Yeah.
against that. They shouldn't. It's a distraction, and it also makes them cheat. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say.
Thank you very much for the submission. This is really a new technique for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us here. So thank you very much, especially the displaying the Thai and then English
Exactly.
into going forward. I think I'm going to adopt that one too. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Please, anyone have any submission or addition or subtraction? Okay.
Please, my question is about the lower level student, like from
Okay.
primary 1 to primary 3.
Okay.
How do you punish such students in case they are misbehaving if someone have a critical experience? Because they are very young and for them they don't use mobile phones.
Okay.
So if a student is misbehaving in a class, primary 1 to 3, how do you handle that or how do you punish such a student? If someone
All right. Please, anyone with practical solution?
Oh, okay. At the lower primary, I think that it depends on the kind of misbehavior. Mostly, what I do is that if most of the student or a student is fidgeting, what I do is that I have a place closer to me in front there where I have a seat. I will just let you come and sit on it. You will participate in the lesson, and I also have the opportunity to see you. Other students will also see you. And what I also use is that there is, for example, class 3, I have a student which age is higher than the others. That student could even could even control some of them. So at times, if the person is talking or misbehaving, you will see that that student will be speaking in Thai, rebuking that particular student. So
Okay.
if you have opportunity to have something like a class leader of that sort,
Sorry, what high lawyer? What high lawyer?
yes, at times it helps. That student will
Sure.
beat the others. It even works perfect at the from class 5 to class 6. It works perfect there when you have a student who emerges as someone like a leader controlling the class with you, because you have to be very careful in dealing with them. And at times too, what you can do is you normally go closer to that person. Whenever you are talking, you get closer to where the person is. It calms that person down a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission, Mr. Emmanuel Agri. Okay, Mr. Odike.
Okay. I just want to add a little bit about what our brother just said.
Okay.
It's like controlling the lower grades, like the lower primary. What I normally do is when I see you misbehaving, making noise, not participating in the class, what I do is I just take my phone, make a short video or take a picture, and I'll tell that person, that student, that I will send it to your mom. I know your mom and I know your dad. And also I will send it to the school director. So immediately you mention this, they will just keep calm because they don't want their parents to know that they are not serious in class or in school. So the moment you take the phone, you start a short video or whatever, it will keep them calm. So that's what I've been using for the past years, and it worked.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Kwame will say thank you for your submission. And adding to what you just said, when I don't want to use the phone for the class, I don't go with my phone. And if I don't go with my phone, obviously no one is using theirs. And for those schools that have cameras installed in the classroom, I happen to have this experience where I had a deal with my boss before I went to the classroom. So when the students were not listening, the co-teacher was not present. So I was just there and then making noise. They were not listening. So he zoomed in their faces from the camera and took snapshot of them, and then he sent it to them and told them that the next time he's going to send it to their parents, just as you said. So the camera in the classroom, when my boss was installing it, I was like, I thought it was for me, like to spy on me, but it ends up helping me because they know that the camera is going to take a snapshot of them and it's going to their parents, and that I use for deterrent all the time. So these are some and more strategies we can use to avoid these things.
Can I say something, guys?
Yes, Mr. Diamond.
So I don't teach in the lower primaries, but I think I might be wrong. Most of the teachers at the lower primary, you guys have like a co-teacher, like a caretaker, right? Or it's not like all the
Not all the
time?
classes.
Yes.
Not all the classes. Yes, I don't
Okay.
have any co-teacher. Yes,
Oh, okay. Because I was
not
going to
all the
say that
classes.
if the student is really misbehaving and then you cannot teach, maybe you can let the co-teacher or the caretaker takes care of that kid, maybe even take them out of the class or something.
Sure,
That,
sure.
that is very good. In fact, when the co-teachers are there, I was
Yeah.
teaching where the co-teachers were there. They don't even misbehave at all.
Ah,
They are controlled. But especially when you don't have a co-teacher,
then there's the
it is
wahala.
really a problem. Honestly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and so
Yeah.
that a solution in case
Mm.
the same level 1 to 3, primary 1 to 3, you have some special students. When I talk about special students, some of them autistic and those kind of things in the
Mm.
same classroom with the normal student, and the normal students tend to be bullying the autistic ones or the special students, and you see that the whole class will become something else.
Mm.
How do you control this situation? A situation whereby you have special students, about 2 or 3,
Mm.
adding
Can I give an answer to this one because I have experience
Yes.
with that.
Yes,
So
please.
it's a very tough thing. I have this student like that. He's not even autistic. He do weird stuff sometimes. And if you notice the behavior of Thai students, if a student is disabled or a little bit weird or autistic, most of them don't even want to be friends with them.
Sure.
So the only thing you can do is to advise them. I always say this. We don't go to the classroom every day just to teach academic stuff. Sometimes, especially those of us in the higher, like the high schools, sometimes you can just advise them, talk to them, talk about life, get to know them. So I try to advise them that everybody is special. I even show them like videos of, disabled people that, society has forgotten about them and how they have impacted the world, and try to
Sure.
understand that you should try and make friends with them. That's the only thing you can do. And those kind of students too, most of the time they are left behind because even the learning process, like they're not learning anything. So for those kind of students, you need to have time for them and teach them like on their free time. But that one you have to talk to them. If possible, even they can tell their parents that you want to like help them, teach them like 1 hour a week or 2 hours, then you can help them. But when it comes to the students bullying them, it's all about advice. There's nothing you can do. You only can advise them. Yeah. So I did that and it worked. And that boy now he has friends.
Wow.
He has friends now. So
That's
it's all
great.
about advice.
in my
Yeah.
case like this,
Mm.
the special student sometimes he'll be shouting, no one will touch him, see him shouting, crying, doing a lot of stuff. And what happens like that, I will just take him close to where I'm sitting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let me the topic I'm teaching, I give him something different on the same topic and he will be doing it personally. Sometimes the student too will just leave their place and come and hit him and he'll be shouting. The moment he starts shouting, you see that all the students will be happy. So it's like they have fun in making him shouting and crying and those things. And one guy that become uncomfortable, so I moved him close.
If
Because
it becomes extreme like that, you need to report to the
Sure.
administration. Even though,
Perfectly.
yeah, you need to. But you see, there's this thing that I wanted to say too. For
Okay.
teachers, most of the time, you don't have to be a teacher who makes it a habit of always reporting, complaining about students to
Yeah.
your boss. It
Yes.
makes it sound like you don't know what you are doing in the classroom.
That's the point.
So if you really want to like complain about student or report them, it has to be extreme. So something that they did that is like really, really bad. So like something like this, if you keep advising them and still the behavior becomes even physical, like you are saying, then you have to report to your boss. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing. Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right. Please, if there's another question, we can
Yes, I have
continue.
something small to add.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say that you shouldn't fully depend on the help given to us by co-teachers because trust me, you go to some classes and the co-teachers are very nonchalant. They don't even care about what the students and yourself what are doing in the class. They are focused on their phones, and when the noise gets too much, they may even walk out without telling the kids to keep quiet. So I believe finding ways which you can discipline your kids and get them to listen to you is very good. Sometimes you can pick one very good student to stand in front of the class to write names on the board. And when the science teacher walks in and sees the names on the board, they deal with the students. So whichever method you find useful for yourself and your students, I think you should adapt to that and not fully depend on co-teachers. Thank you.
100% true.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I
Mr.
have,
Penny.
I have, I have had some worse co-teachers also, but I think you see the co-teachers are most of the time. I don't know some foreign teachers. We try to ignore them. You need to build a relationship with them. Then you get the best out of them. Not all of them just come and sit on the phone. If you have to build a relationship with them, and also when you are teaching, try and involve them sometimes. Just little things to let them know like they matter in the classroom, like they are teaching with you. If you can do that, you get the best out of them. But it's not all of them that are that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really true. That's really true.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you define them. Some
Mm,
schools will just bring the co-teacher like a watchdog for you, and some schools will
mm,
also bring the co-teacher to really monitor if you are teaching the curriculum. So
yeah.
if the co-teacher is there to see if you're teaching the curriculum, you need to make sure, yeah, because she can cost you your job.
Yes.
So you should have the habit of giving them gifts, and you should be very intimate with them in the correct way, not the
Exactly.
wrong way. So
Mm,
if you are intimate with them, you might end up even be going to maybe family dinners and stuff, and you'll be part of the family. And
mm,
that is your where ticket for peaceful cohabitation in the school
exactly.
environment. Yeah.
Mm.
So all right.
I,
So
I, I, I really love co-teachers. I haven't
sure.
had co-teacher in a long time and I've been complaining. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and for me personally, I teach M1 to M6, and I have co-teachers throughout all the class. But the one I
Mm,
hate the most is my M6. She always comes to class on Tumuda, and I have to make sure. You see, some of them for the high school, some of them don't come at all if the school allow co-teachers. So if they are coming, they are just coming to assess you, and she always come. And at first it was intimidating, but when I befriended her, when she's not even around, I have to call her. And in some situations, for example, I go to the mosque on Fridays, and just the time of my lesson on Friday class is the time I'm supposed to go to the mosque. So sometimes I would intentionally tell a teacher I don't understand this aspect very well, and I'll just quote some, and then can you help me for today's class? And she was like, okay. She's really, really happy to take over because for my situation, she's not even in my program. She's from a different program, so she always loved to express herself for the kids to know that on also. So yeah, na me de jumani na ma no nti on also pay nti yen konkon so also pay to be juma no. So you just have to find their soft spots, and then you are good to go. All right.
also, guys, this is personal experience. When I first came to Thailand, I knew like in Ghana, teachers, we have those kind of teachers that even when you see them walking down the corridor, you run away and stuff like that. So then when I came in, they said, "Oh, I had your same kolano. When you grow they like laissez faire, like free with them." So then I started being so close to the students, like ye dia grow too much. Then I realized something like now I can't even teach them. Like they are always noisy in the classroom and I can't do any productive work. So I said, okay, let me change it a little bit. So the second, and because now they get to know that I am that free with them. So those students, they are like a loose can. I can't do anything with them. They are now in Matium 2. So then I was like, okay, the new students that will come, I'm gonna change the approach. I'll be close to them, but not very close. Let them know that I'm still their teacher. It's not always that we'll be playing. And it worked. Like
Sure.
no one misbehaves in the class once I am there. Unless maybe I say, okay, today is free time. We want to do something free, like watch a movie or something. But
Sure.
we shouldn't be playing with them too much. If you do that, because they are kids, some of them might not think that you are still the teacher. Some will even go to the extent of even hitting your ass with their hands or
Of
pulling your
course.
pants. Yeah.
It's normal. Pulling pants in
Yeah.
there is new, but hitting your ass in there is normal. Why you
So,
come
yeah.
back so bad?
Yeah. So you need to like balance it, be close
Yeah.
to them, but still make them know that you are the teacher. And it's always very important when they are new, because like
Yeah.
I said, it's like a relationship.
Yeah.
How they got to know you from the start is how they're gonna be with you till the end. So, but for the lower primary kids, for them, some of them they don't even know why they are at school. For that one, I don't have any answers for you.
Maybe canteen, no man, no man.
I have the same experience as you have explained. My
Yeah,
1 to 3 students,
yeah.
I have so much fun with them. So anytime it's my lesson, you see that all of them will be rushing to my classroom. And I just tell them that sometimes when they come, teacher, let's play, let's play. When they learn your mark, they have learned a lot, so they don't want to learn again. We should play games.
Yeah.
See, sometimes it will be lunchtime, you'll be walking on the compound, and a student will be running with full speed towards you just to hug you. Lady, those primary kids. And you know, Thai culture, as a guy, you shouldn't have to touch those young kids, especially the ladies. For the guys, the way the student is running towards you, if if you dodge or if you don't let the student come, the student will fall down.
Yeah.
And if the student is a lady, and you also try to protect her so that she will not fall, you are, committing yourself in terms of the Thai culture. So sometimes they'll be running towards me, and I'll just be standing there, raise my hand, like want to give them high five. You see that they will jump and come and hug you.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, and I'll
Yeah.
just put it down and give them high
Yeah.
five. So those primary kids, they are very, very something else.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't have answers for the primary kids, because I used to go and teach primary kids. It was from the governor, like a special class. It was the worst thing I've ever done in Thailand. There was this kid. His name is Namron. It means hot water. That's his name. Namron. This
And then
kid,
some other.
hey, when you are teaching, he'll be playing with your computer, he'll be hitting students. He cannot sit down. Like he has to be doing something, breaking stuff, touching the computer screen. In the end, I took him and put him on my lap, and then I grip him like Midnashe prison. And then he cannot do anything, and he started shouting, and I have to let him go. In the end, I have to give him to the co-teacher to take him out of the class. So, and then I told my boss, please, I don't want to teach lower levels anymore. I cannot. It's too much. Hey.
So
My own some even coming off my computer, off the whole classroom switch light, and I went on.
So this situations is always advisable. You study your environment and always try to come up with different solutions. It's always like a building block. You don't have one time solution for this kind of situation. So when you are very good observant, you are able to observe your environment and you can come up with different strategies every day as it arrives. So that is way to go. Please, anyone with some questions?
I have a question.
We
I
have
have a question.
10
I joined you guys
minutes more.
late. So those of you
Okay.
teaching the lower levels, how do you handle kids that, like, the same class that I was teaching for the governor? There was this kid every day from morning, obesunsa, kaban.
That's all they do it too. For real. I'm not joking. Yeah,
Okay.
for real. Maybe
I've been
children. And it's fun. Yeah.
I've been teaching the lower primary from KG2 to class 6. without any Thai teacher.
Wow.
Normally, what I know is that you need to be like a coach. Plan your lesson outside before you come to the classroom. Manage your classroom outside before you come. Some of the students try and get what they like. There was a student who liked fidgeting and then tried to interrupt most of the lesson. I realized he liked Messi a lot. So what I do is that I will print a worksheet having Messi picture on it. Try to design this in such a way that the person will be coloring, painting, and other stuffs like that. So when I go to the classroom, when the class is going on, I try to give it to him and let him sit somewhere away from the class, but very closer to me. So I'll be monitoring him throughout. Anytime that he says, I want to go out, please, may I go out to drink water? At times, I take the opportunity and go with him because I don't know wherever that he'll be going. And you are responsible for that particular student because he is in your class at that particular period. So you need to identify the interest of that particular student.
But this student, she said she only want to go home. That's all that she wants. Kaban. That's all that she wants.
I think you should just walk him to the director's office. Okay, go home. Let's go. Let's walk him there.
So then have one.
Yeah, some more.
Autistic. He will be crying throughout the whole lesson, and he want to go home. He miss his mom.
Yeah.
Kaban, kitten man, obesity. So what the strategy I developed was that anytime he started those things, I'll pick up my phone. I have a colleague friend who is Thai, and here the network. So I'll call a colleague who is a Thai teacher on the phone, but I'll not do it video call, and I'll be speaking with that colleague as that student mom. That Tike Bawaya Kaban. So the other colleague would take the phone and be speaking to the student that TK, wait, when it's 3:30, I'll come and pick you. So you calm down. I'm in the way, I'm coming now. And then so okay, then waiting. Then I'll go and put him down. We start learning. Maybe about 30 minutes later, you will start crying again. And I'll do this. Until the lessons go over. So it's very challenging. You have to fund it.
I always say that you, the lower primary teachers, you are the real teachers because.
And sometimes,
so you can watch over a lion cage. You can watch
every school, the Thai student, they have a teacher they are afraid of most. If you go there, the kids have a particular teacher they are afraid of most. So in case they are making noise and they are not focusing, the moment you pull out your phone that I'm taking a video, sending to maybe Connect or could mention a teacher that they are afraid of most in your level. That I'm taking a video, I'm taking a picture and send to this teacher that you are making. All of them will be quiet and be sitting there. But less than 15 minutes,
they are back again. They have a short retention, so as one of our bosses here just said, you need to plan your lesson very well. Most of the times, if the lesson is structured, there's no window for this kind of stuff. And if it happens, you should I think for me, I'll just say you should deal with it. That is I don't know your teams are sanaba. Debiano na umia we nikosa akalano yes I will do very fine. So they our status school for passing through that stage now, you become their friend and everything becomes beautiful. Yeah. So any question again?
I heard someone talking about I think it was you, the presenter. You were saying something about mafia their points. I joined the live stream late. Okay. I don't think we can so I used to do that. I used to deduct points. But then my boss told me you cannot do that because even after all in Thailand, no one fails anyway. So she said you shouldn't be deducting their points because they earn those points. What you can do is if someone like for example, you say, okay, if someone speaks more English, you get more points. You can only give more points, but you don't deduct points. So that's what I want to say. Yeah.
Okay, so to clarify,
Yeah.
as you said,
Yeah.
my personally, when I was in my post right now where I'm teaching now, after the semester, my co-teachers reported to my boss that almost everyone is passed, and I don't teach tough concepts, right? And I was like, no, and you say I don't teach tough concepts. I make sure they understand. So even if they pass, everyone has four. That doesn't mean that I just give it out, right? And me passing them was like a problem for them. I was like, okay, so the freebies that I'm giving, if I say I'm going to mafia them with points, and if you remember carefully, I said your midterm score in your final test score, I don't touch it. That one you earn it. But for the class one, yes, it's your points though, but I'm in control of it. I'm the one scoring you. And sometimes when you're scoring them, they can make a little mistake and you let it slide, right? But if the student does not show good behavior, I give them what they get. And for me, that is a way of mafiaing them. And if I made my class to be more of laissez faire, but not just complete one. So I warn them from the beginning. I don't really punish them because, as we all agree, you don't rush into hasty punishment in these Thai students. You might fall into trouble. So I always shifted the punishment to my co-teachers or my school boss or something. But the only one I can do is I'm going to tell you that if you don't stop this habit, you are going to not get my freebie score. And for me, that is the way I'm after done with my score.
Oh,
So
okay. Sorry,
it is
I
fine.
joined late, so I understand
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
It
it's
means no
fine.
special treatment.
No.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
not giving me special
You
treatment
just
when
get
I come
what
to
you
the
want.
class. Yes,
Exactly.
so
You get
you're
what
giving
you
me
get
tough
what you
time.
have. Yeah.
Yes. The one you know. I in fact
You
just this M6 that graduated.
yeah.
They were not serious. We all know that at the second term, some of them already have their universities, right? So they don't care about the courses. So this student, she was really participating. But then I was like, Lasho, no, I was like, okay, let me give them what they have because these guys love to argue, right? So I gave her what she got and she tested me back. She said I need explanation when the scores were out. I need explanation. Why did I get 3.5? And I was like, and I do all your work this semester, blah, blah, blah. I have to tell her I'm sorry. Even though she's graduated, right? But I told her I'm sorry. And I told her if she wants, she should check a specific work I gave them. She didn't score very well. And I used that one for this aspect of the score. That is why she got 3.5. Simple explanation and talking, and we're all fine. So communication, rapport building solves all these problems with the high school ones. I don't know.
This is an input. This is what now we are doing at my school. My boss said we should be doing that. Like every day when you come to school, you have the score sheet of the students. Like they can see their points anytime they want. You bring it to class
Yeah.
so that they will know their performance. They will know how much points they have before, like throughout the academic
Like
year till the
like
end
real
of the
time.
term.
That
Yes.
means you're feeding them the score real time. That's
Yes.
really good thing.
Yeah.
That's really good thing. But actually, for me, personally, and I know a lot of people here, people who have teachers who have a high volume of students in a class, you can tell that some of these aspects may, as I said in the beginning, observe your environment very well and different school settings with different set of rules from the above. And then you break it down to your classroom level. So assuming you have a lot of students in the class and you take care of a large volume of classes, mostly you need to reschedule your time very well for even class preparation and stuff. So knowing how to go by your scoring, and as my senior is saying, some schools have a strategy for the scores already. Some schools will leave it for the teacher. Some schools will leave it for the last minute. So just observe your routine, your school environment and your school setting and the kind of atmosphere you are in, and then adopt nicely. All right. So if there's no any other contribution, I think we've spent our time already and we would love to end here. For me doing the presentation, I'm not the host, so I'll leave it for the host. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening to me. As I said earlier on, it's not like I have a lot of knowledge about this. It's about sharing experience. So this is my experience today. We've shared our experiences. Tomorrow we're going to learn another experience from another person, and so doing we'll learn collectively. And I thank you all for listening, and I'm going to hand over the platform to the organizers. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Adam Husein. Peace. I'm out.